So politics is really dumb. Why do I bring this up? Why do I feel a need to inform the world of something that, 99% of the population of the world already understands? If you, talk to the average person and you say, how do you feel about politics? Probably not going to go well. Whichever side of the political aisle, or, in other countries, there's, 17 different little buckets that they put themselves in. Why is this something I feel the necessity to say today? Is climate change, global warming. We'll change the terms around, but whatever the term we feel is most appropriate at a given point in time, what is really required is for just for you to just let us control everything. If you just let us control everything, we can save the planet. We can do it, and just solar and windmills and maybe the carbon impact of building all these fucking electric vehicle batteries is way bigger than the impact of actually running a gas operated vehicle for the next 20 years. But look, don't you want to be like Star Wars, like Star Trek? Don't you want to advance technology and go to cool stuff? And pretty soon we'll live in these cool cities with solar panels and windmills on top. And you've seen the concept art for the new Dubai or whatever, and it'll be great, and there'll be gardens on skyscrapers, and then the world will actually be worse off than what it currently is. And the world would be worse off than if we continued down the terrible fossil fuel path that we're currently on. But it'll look cool, and we can. The key is that we need to make sure that any of the effects of what we're doing to the environment, it's not that they can't happen. It's not that we can't damage the environment. It's just we just have to make sure that we don't see it. That you in your average life don't see the impact that you're having on the environment. Which brings me to engineering. I may have said this in a recent, a past video, but I graduated high school, joined the Marine Corps, served for 4 years, U.S. Marine Corps, if anyone's curious, if you can't tell by the accent. Served for 4 years, and then I got out, and part of me was interested in philosophy, politics, and understanding people, and understanding how human systems operate. And eventually I decided on going to college for engineering. I mean, it was kind of childish, but basically I just wanted to, I told people many times, I went into engineering because I want to build robots and spaceships. Now I'm less enthusiastic about that because, as far as I can tell, well, SpaceX, I probably couldn't get hired by SpaceX. I didn't have that grade of grades, but SpaceX probably wouldn't hire me. And most of the people building robots are either directly or loosely connected to military contractors. And while I really wanted to work for those, for some reason I don't feel the great desire I had to work for people building military weapons for the U.S. government. Might seem odd, but I just don't feel much motivation for giving the people running our government more ways of killing people. So, circling back, Jen Psaki style, circling back, what I didn't really understand at the start, but what I came to appreciate is that my single favorite thing about engineering, about STEM in general, but physics and physical laws and the laws of thermodynamics, is that if you have a vision, if you have a goal, if you want to do something, it's either going to be a good idea or a bad idea. And, maybe, obviously there's, stories of people maybe who were ahead of their time and they had an idea that the technology of the time just wasn't quite there yet. But generally, if you have basically something that's not like quantum physics, if you have some idea and you try to do it, then physics will very, very quickly tell you whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. How does physics do this? Does it fucking work? Does it work? So if you say, hey, I'm gonna build this robot that will turn this way and that way, and then physics says, well, no, actually that joint wasn't properly sized. It's not quite strong enough, so no. And it doesn't matter it doesn't matter how much popular support you have for the idea you have. It doesn't matter if 73 billion people, 10 or so times the world population. I just threw out a number. It doesn't matter if every human on the face of the planet is fully supportive of your idea. If it's a bad idea, hell, even if it's a good idea, very quickly, literally as soon as you try the idea, physics, the laws of physics and nature will come back and say, no. Doesn't matter how popular it is, nope. This is the gate. You couldn't pass through. It was a cute idea. It was you had the right idea going, but there's just this other little physical law over here that you didn't quite account for properly, and so your idea is just a non-starter. Contrast that to politics, and contrast that to politics, where if the idea doesn't work the first time, it's just because we didn't believe enough. It's just because we didn't try hard enough. It's just because we didn't put enough money into it. And honestly, it's your fault. It's your fault because the power of this idea is entirely dependent on how much you believe. You have to really put the belief in there, just believe so hard, and then it'll work. And if maybe it's physically impossible for solar and windmill energy to power the world, or maybe if it's in order to build enough solar panels and windmills and battery cells to power the world, we would basically have to rape the planet for resources, far more than what we are currently doing with fossil fuels. And as a slight side note, it was only a 6-month class, but I took a class in alternative and renewable energies. And basically what the professor ended up summarizing to me, well, what I'll summarize was his opinion, was, nuclear is great, but it's politically unpopular. But windmills, it's not enough. Solar panels, it's not enough. And it takes all these rare metals and resources and things that, we have to, there's conflicts over mining these resources from the earth. But, people dying, that's not a big deal. Geothermal, it's cool, but, there's not enough geothermal power sources that we can really that will make a significant impact. Tidal waves, it's cool, but it's just not enough. Nuclear could basically solve all our problems, but it's, you know, people don't like it because it's kind of scary. So when the political governmental powers that be are relentlessly pushing technologies and strategies that just on a fundamental level will not solve the problem that they are claiming they want to solve, and they will completely discount ideas because they're scary. It's nuclear, you know, that's like nuclear, like bombs. But you know, just be sure, just understand that we follow the science here. We follow the science. And so let's just rape and pillage the planet for resources to build fucking windmills that 10 and 20 years from now will all be defunct. Let's spend our entire fucking GDP on technologies that, if, you know, if say the free market gradually invested into technologies that were beneficial enough to actually push fossil fuels out of the market. Because eventually I think we, you know, we might get there. At least there's a possibility. But no, so, and I'm rambling a bit because I'm a little upset. But my analogy I thought of the other day was, imagine if the first person who invented a car, I don't know off the top of my head who invented the first, you know, combustion engine and the first vehicle. If the government came and said, this thing's amazing, we could replace horses. If we invest if we invest in this new amazing technology, then there won't be horses shitting on the streets everywhere. And the cities won't smell like crap. And you know, there's all that methane, so we need to worry about that greenhouse gas that we're not aware actually matters at all. But we have this new vehicle, and we can get rid of all the horse shit all over the streets. So the government is going to invest in this new vehicle, is going to be in every barn. There weren't really driveways because it was the first car. But a car for every house. And then a short time later, Henry Ford comes out and says, "Oh, I have a way better car." And now, not only is the car good enough and are my manufacturing processes efficient enough that I am naturally pushing these people out of the way. You know, people, you know, it's a good car, the Model T. It's a great vehicle, and you don't have to worry about the training the horse or learning how to ride the horse. And you can carry stuff with it, and it's just a really good machine. But unfortunately, everybody already has that first car that was ever invented. So sorry, Henry Ford. You know, either you're not going to have a market for your better vehicle, or all those materials and resources and finances that went into getting a car, government subsidies for getting that first shitty vehicle to everyone in the world, will have been wasted, because now there's a better vehicle. So it's almost like when the government puts their hand in the ring, when the government decides, you know, we know what's best. We know the technology that's best because, this stuff over here it looks really cool. It looks really cool. And because we're in politics and we're not focused on the actual physical and natural laws of what we claim to be trying to accomplish, then we can just say, solar panels, aren't those cool? Solar panels. And maybe people are dying, and maybe the earth doesn't have enough of the raw materials required to make solar panels, but don't they look cool? Don't they look cool? Don't you want to vote for me? So this disconnect between physical, natural law and politics, because politics, there's a great delay between when someone makes a decision and they face the consequences of those decisions. Not just politically, not just voter wise, but we gotta have the National Firearms Act. National Firearms Act? I know it's the NFA. But basically, we have to control guns in Chicago, and we honestly will never really face the consequences of those decisions, because things will still be just as bad as they have ever been. But we'll keep shouting to the moon about how this is what we need to do, and we just need some more money. Just need some more power, need some more control. If you just give us just a little bit more. Because real communism has never been tried. And I don't want to make the whole thing about communism, but real government control has never been tried. You guys keep doubting us because you think that maybe we'll go tyrannical, but we would never do that. Just trust us. Just trust us to rule you with a benevolent iron fist. Trust us to pick which technologies can save the planet, because obviously we were so intelligent about this whole pandemic. As you can see, I'm a little peeved. And as an engineer, it bothers me. It kind of is a convergence of things that bother me, that the politics side wants to say, hey, we have this new engineering thing that we can do. And if you just give us more power, then we can do the engineering thing and save the planet. And as an engineer, I look and I go, okay, one, I don't want to give you power because you're pieces of shit. Two, even if you had all the power, what you claim to be wanting to do is physically impossible. Like, it's not going to happen. It's like, just like, here's what you want to do over here, and here's you, and then the laws of physics are in the middle. And I'm rambling a bit, but maybe you can see how frustrated I am by all this. But that's about it. Basically, we've all seen how they approached the pandemic, in that they claimed that they were following the science, and any scientist who opposed them, they said, no, you're a crazy anti-vaxxer, even though you've supported every vaccine before this one, and you just don't support how we are completely rewriting the social contract based around this pandemic that we have no idea where it came from. Just probably some bat somewhere. So I don't trust these people when the clear answer to, if you want to get rid of fossil fuels, nuclear energy. Do some research on it if you want, but nuclear energy. And if nuclear energy is not in the conversation, then go fuck yourself. Because you clearly have other goals. You don't care about getting us off of fossil fuels. You care about something else, and you're using this as an excuse. So go fuck yourself. I swear most of my videos end with that at this point, but yeah, it works for me. That's it. Thanks. Bye.